did this the other day on my Pastor and Professor show. I had orange juice during the show. Not a good choice. I went with water the next couple shows. I have apple juice now because I was just thirsty and I love apple juice. Not a good choice. Not a good choice because my throat's swollen as I'm trying to talk. Head over heels, this is the best team in the division. It's one of the best 3 teams in probably baseball. They have so much going for them. Picking up A.J. Pollock was a good pickup today. Kimbrel wasn't going to do anything for them. He's not good in a setup role. That has been proven when he's played that role. He could help the Dodgers too. When he's on fire, he's really great, but I also saw him really struggle with the Cubs. When he first came to the Cubs, I thought his career was done. He rebounded and actually pitched really well, but letting him go and picking up A.J. Pollock was a great move for them. This team's just stacked. Offensively, they're stacked. They have great arms. I try not to get myself in trouble here. I'm a diehard Cubs fan. I never disliked the White Sox growing up, especially because they're in the American League East. When they switched divisions and the strike year, I had to be in Chicago and had to hear for all that time. It's like, 84, 94 was our year. If it wasn't for the strike, we won the World Series. Like, no, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. The Indians were coming up. You were dropping in the standings. The Indians were 1 game behind you in the strike. And the next year, the Indians went to the World Series and they won 100. They went 144 in that shortened season. They were 144. Was not your year. Granted, they went on and won, 2005? Fluke year. Anyway, but this is the most stacked team. And I have to say, I do like watching this team. I hate Tony La Russa, so I wish he wasn't in the mix there. I wish it was anybody else but Tony La Russa. One of the people I dislike the most in baseball. But this is a fun team, fun talent, some swagger, arms. This is great. And I went to many White Sox game between going with my friends, Bobby Mack and my friend Beth and Sean Hewlett. I mean, I don't know if I actually went with Sean Hewlett, but huge fan. I went to all kinds of games. I mean, I probably went to 10 White Sox games at least a year, if not more sometimes. I used to go to 30, 40 games a year when I was in Chicago. Not the last couple years, but for the 27 years before that, I was 30, 40 games a year. Now, when we talk about ballparks, we'll talk about that one. And I've heard this argument over and over from the people from Chicago. They've definitely made it better over the years because it was god awful before. They cut off part of the roof. That upper deck sucks, and everybody will say, "Oh, but the sight lines are so great." Whatever. And people always rave about the food. Not even close. I've been to 15 other stadiums that have better food than that. And again, I'm a Chicago guy, so I love Chicago food. I miss it dearly, but it's not, that ballpark is not my favorite. And the people that aren't White Sox fans, I haven't found many that like that ballpark. So anyway, I'm going off a tangent. Well, that's another episode. But I guess I'm saying all that because I really do like this team. It's a fun team to watch. Again, on paper, there is the Blue Jays and Dodgers and probably the White Sox. You can throw the Braves and Mets in there too. But I mean, last year I had the White Sox and Padres in the World Series. That didn't pan out. But this year, I don't see anybody in this division even coming close to them. I think last year they won the division by, let me go back there. Go back one thing. Cleveland. They won the division last year by 13 games, and they only won 94 games. Yeah, 93 games. They won the division with 93 wins, which is not, that's happened, but not by 13 games. That's how poor this division is. Now you put the Tigers and Indians or Guardians and Twins and Royals in the East. They're cellar dwellers for sure. They'll tie with the Orioles with 52 wins, but so they won the division by 13 games with 93 wins. They're going up from there. This is the year for this team. They don't have a ton of talent right now in the farm system. All these guys have come up. Actually, most rankings have them dead last in farm system, which is cause for somewhat of alarm if you're a Sox fan, but I think it's a temporary thing. Their organization is usually pretty good. They're not usually down at the bottom. I think they have some good people in the front office that will put them in the middle of the mix. They're going to have to move some of these players at some point. Their payroll's high though. I mean, their payroll is really high. 86 million. I can't really see it from the screen because I have something blocking it. Yeah, 184 million. So you have 184 million with the White Sox and 37 million for the Indians. That's just a huge discrepancy. Huge discrepancy. Let's take a look at their lineup. It's just ridiculous. This is just an absolute ridiculous lineup. Dodgers and the Blue Jays, their lineups rival this. I guess you can pick any three of those. I would say Atlanta's too, maybe the Mets. Look at this lineup. It's awesome. I mean, Grandal's probably the best catcher in baseball. Jimenez, Robert, hit 338 or something, 338. Tim Anderson just gets better and better. And, a lot of people hate Tim Anderson. He is going to miss the first 2 games of the season from an incident last September. So he's suspended. I think it came out today or yesterday. So he's suspended for the first 2 games. But, this is just they're going to score a ton of runs. They're going to score a ton of runs, and they're going to be a fun team to watch. They have swagger. I think, they had to have been disappointed. I found it interesting, though. I did not know this, that last year was the first time in their history, they've been playing baseball since the late 1800s. This is the first time in their history they went to the playoffs in back-to-back years. I had no idea of that. I found that shocking. So it's the first time in their history they went to back-to-back playoffs, and they went out in the first round both years. Last year I think they came into the season last year with the same feeling they have now. They expected to do much better, obviously, than the first round. Had some things happen, and I think they underachieved a little bit. I think now they have another year in with those same expectations and even higher. They know how to handle them. They're a little bit more mature. There's no way this team's not winning the division. There's just no way. I think they're probably the biggest lock. Even over the Dodgers, some things could happen out there. But even if they have some injuries, they don't get career years. They don't have to have career years from anybody for this team to win this division. They all can have mediocre years and still win this division. They won it last year with 93 wins by 13 games. So this team is just stacked. There's just no way they're going to win the division or not win the division. They couldn't have a collapse that bad to not win this division. So as long as they get healthy at the right time later in the year, they'll run away with this division and go into the playoffs healthy, hopefully. Their pitching staff's really strong. I mean, this is a really strong staff. I have not looked at staffs as far as comparisons side by side, and I think I want to do that after I get through with these shows, and maybe just for my own thing. And maybe I do a pitching episode. I don't know. Maybe. Again, I think about baseball all the time. But this is 1 to 5. Is there a better starting 5? I don't know. I mean, certainly there's teams that have better aces and so forth, but 1 to 5, this is strong. This is Indians usually have a strong pitching staff like this. This is really strong. I think Dylan Cease will have a strong year. Keuchel started figuring out towards the end of last year, had a rough patch. Kopech can strike it out. I think Marcus Giolato is going to win the Cy Young. So I have not mentioned any awards yet in the 2 episodes I've done. I was going to save that for the end. My pick for the American League Cy Young is Lucas Giolito. 11-9 last year is not indicative of his stuff. He did pitch 178 innings, 201. Solid year with 353 with the talent in the American League. I think he takes the next step. And he's the American League Cy Young Award winner. Again, this team is stacked. They don't have a lot of help. They did sign Cespedes' brother. I don't even know Uelke. I don't even know how to say his name. And you may see him early. You might see him early. So we'll see. But there's not a whole lot of other prospects that you're going to see because this lineup is so stacked. I'm going to pull them up right here. Again, most have them ranked last or one of the top bottom 3. Yeah, you're looking at their top 30 prospects, and usually, I mean, there's really only 4 or 5 people that they have as AAA major league ready. So they're young. The talent they do have is young. It's single A, high A, that type of thing. But looking at their top 5 prospects, Colson Montgomery, rookie ball. We're trying to see a couple of guys in rookie ball. Yeah, their top 5 are all double A or lower. Jose Rodriguez, the shortstop, he's a good player. He's only 20 though. They expect him up next year. Cespedes, they expect up this year. He's an outfielder. He's a good looking player. I've seen him play. He's a good looking player, so it wouldn't surprise me if he does really well. If somebody stumbles or gets hurt, he can fill in the outfield. Maybe even DH if he needs to. But again, the talent in their farm system is young. And definitely even the pitching, they don't have a lot of pitching help. So they have a great bullpen as well. So they don't have a ton of flexibility with the arms, but they're so strong with those arms. I mean, I'm looking at farther down the list. The 26, 27, 8 prospects are AAA ready. So they're gonna have to make some moves if they need some arms. They're gonna have to rely on some of these guys that might not be ready. But we'll see. Again, I don't think under any circumstances this team doesn't win the division, and so just get in the playoffs and then see what happens. Here's your little snapshot of the White Sox. I have them 104 from 93 to 104. Again, partly is because they're in this division. I think this team wins 100 games in any division. I think they're that good. I don't think this is indicative of the league, their division they're playing in. I think if they're in the American League East, they'd probably win that division. I think they're better than the Yankees. They're better than the Red Sox. Are they better in Toronto? Maybe those two are going head to head, but it's not just a product of being in the National or American League Central. This team's that good. It's that stacked. So I have them at 104 and 58.